Hey, what's up everybody? So in the last video we have showed you how to install that various tools and technology that will help us to deploy our NLP model. So in this video we'll try to write the API with the help of Flask in Python. So how we're gonna do it? So let's quickly we go to the roadmap that we have designed for us. So we have just have a quick throw in the previous video. That video I'll give you in the link in the description. Go and check it out, what is Flask, Docker, GitLab, Jenkins, and how to install it. And after that, configure it. And when your all environments are ready, now we'll write our Flask API for our NLP model, CSS and HTML. So this will be the main agenda of our this video. So first of all, open any directory, and in this directory I will first make a Python file. I'll name my Python file as app.py and open it with the help of any editor you want. So I will open command prompt, I will type code higher space dot. So it will open for me this Visual Studio Code. So this is that app.py file I was talking about. So first of all, I will try to import some of the libraries or modules that will help us into our matter. So I will import from Flask, import Flask. So the Flask module have Flask class. That class will help us to make our web framework. It's very easy to design some APIs or some very quick microservices with the help of Flask. So I'll just write template URL for and after that request. Okay, so if everything is right, and after that we'll try import pandas as PD. Okay, oh sorry, as PD. And we also require NumPy. So if you have gone through in my previous video in which I have we have made that sentiment analysis NLP use case, so that video also I will provide in the link in the description. That video have some length of 1 hour, so if you want to save your time, you can just go through that GitHub account that is available on that video this description. So you can just go through all the codes that I have written in the details. So the main code that is help us, that I will write into this API. Okay, so next tool is we'll have to import module NLTK. So this library have much features that will help us to be imported for our NLP project. So mostly NLP projects are made with the in Python with the help of NLTK. Okay, so that is port stemmer, and after that import regex and import the string, and after that from sklearn dot feature extraction dot text import count vectorizer. So you can also use TF-IDF, so that that depend upon you which you want to choose. So for our this video I'll use count vectorizer. Now sklearn linear model import logistic regression. Okay, so this classifier model logistic regression algorithm will use to classify whether our particular word is a sensitive, happy or unhappy, negative or positive. that model will use. And after that we will have some definition. So remove underscore pattern input text and pattern, and in this we will just have a variable r. That r will store find all, and will give the variable pattern and input underscore text. For I in r, so this is the same definition that we have discussed in our previous video. So that video is given in the link in the description. You can just check it out, what is exactly that video is all about. So we have discussed this NLP use case there. I comma and that is input underscore text. Okay, and after that we'll come out of the for loop and we'll just hit return input text. Okay, so it's giving me some error like undefined variable input text. So I think so it's given here. So this video so this input variable will not going to make a problem for our project. So after that, what it will generally do, we will pass some regex, some regular expression. So that regular expression, with the help of that pattern, we will try to remove that pattern, and in that way, in the place of that particular pattern, we will replace it with the this null value. Okay, so this is all about. So this is a removal of pattern, like some username @ or some numbers or some punctuation, such like that. Okay, so after that we'll use count, just count punctuation. So that count punctuation will count the how many number of punctuation we have, so to increase the model accuracy. Okay, so sum, and after that I for care in text if character in string dot punctuation. Okay, so return round. So the rounding of the particular count divided by length of our text minus by text dot count and the number of spaces. So we only considering that the length of the character, length of particular string. Okay, so the count how many number of punctuation in that text divided by length of the text and minus that spaces in between the text. So this will tell us exactly how much punctuation count or percentage we have, because we are multiplying it with 100, so it will give you the percentage, so 20%, 30%, how much percentage of punctuation in the given text we have. Okay, so after that we will use our Flask, and will give app. This is actually the name, or you can say object of a given class. So what is class in our case is Flask. Okay, so in it we had to pass name. So name is generally the main function, so that we will pass as a variable here. So that name function we will assign at various lowest of the code. After we will write every code, and after that we will have a data pd dot read dot underscore csv, and in this we will pass our sentiment dot CSV or TSV. Okay, so previously we had sentiment.tsv to train our model first. Okay, so separation is --t. Okay, so that is not dot, so that is this one. Okay, so it will find out the sentiment.tsv file. Okay, so we will copy that sentiment.tsv file from our previous folder. So where we have, so this is the folder that previously we had. So I will copy sentiment.tsv from here and I will paste it into the given directory, and after pasting here you can see we have sentiment.tsv file. Okay, so that the particular that API, the files will be available on GitHub repository. That GitHub repository, the link is in the description, so go and check it out. Okay, so after that we will write the column data dot it is columns is equal to, and we will give it a label, comma, body underscore text, and after that we'll use some features and labels. In this we will had previously label is equal to data label, and here we will use map. So it will map in the given data. If there is a POS, it means positive, it will replace it to 0, and if there is a negative, it will replace it with 1. Okay, so data tidy tweet. So this is the exactly filter output that we want. So first we will use np.vectorize, and in the vectorize we will use that our remove pattern definition that we have prepared, and after that we will use data body underscore text, and we'll use this one W, and we use star. Okay, so I think so it will work. And similarly we use tokenized tweet and protostemmer, and that protostemmer is a class that we will use, and after that we will tokenize it, and again we will join it. So these are the same thing that we have written in the previous video. So that I will use that video editing technique. Just skip all this thing, I'll write everything and I will explain this. We don't have to write everything line by line because we are repeating, so I'll just skip the video. So now we have skipped the video and written some of the most code. So here we had written stemmer is equal to protostemmer, that class that we will use. Then after that we will use tokenize, and we will just go through each of the tokenized tweet and join it and store into tokenized tweet, and after that we will provide into tidy tweet a separate column, replace it with the previous values, and after that we'll calculate body length and punctuation percentage. That will be another column that we have. So we'll separate out value of x, and after the value of label, and after that we will just use a count vectorize class. We will fit and transform, so that x is no longer string, it will convert it into that sparse matrix having the value of 0 and 1, and after that concatenating body length and punctuation, that concatenated with the axis of 1, it means column wise. and after that we'll use that train and test split. If you want to use it, that we can use, but here we are not going to use it because we already have it trained our model. So directly we'll use logistic regression. We have tuned earlier and we found the value of C is equal to 0.1, better for count factorizer. For logistic regression classifier, we will fit the model. Right now, after that, we will use app.route, and app.route is simply whenever we open our browser. So by default, the slice is the default one. If you just open the local host where this API will run, the first thing will be open that our home page. Okay, so define home, and I will just use the render template. So the template, it will open home.html. so this we will design in a few minutes. And after that, app.route, so just use predict, and method is equal to, we'll use post. Okay, so define, we will use predict. So in this definition we will provide if request dot method equal to post, we will use message is equal to request dot form message. Okay, so what is actually give you that, for example, by default it will open our template home page. So in that home page you will write some message. So in this HTML it is already written that if something written in the message, that if we just click the button, it will open the predict page, and that predict page it will let use a message of post. So in that API where you design, there is some methods available like post and get. So whenever you click and just request something, it is a post command. Okay, so it's a requesting that what is the value, what is the prediction output. So this function will get called. So if the request method is equal to post, so it will, that particular message goes into request.form, and that message will get stored. And now we will use our machine learning algorithm to process this message. So data equal to, first we will have to put in the list, and pd dot will convert it into a data frame, cv dot transform data dot to array. Okay, so body length is equal to, so here what we have done, so we have converted our data into the data frame. Okay, so that data frame we will put into our classifier. Okay, so after that, body length, so body length will be same, data frame will convert it into, and after that we will have length data minus data dot count. Same thing, we have to count only the body length, so we'll just count the length of the particular data minus that space in between them. And after that we'll just count punctuation is equal to pd dot data frame, and I would use count punctuation function directly. And after that, total data pd dot data frame, and you don't have to use pd.data frame. What we want to do, just simply concatenate. Okay, so body underscore length underscore punctuation underscore vector, and that will be combination of axis 1. It means column wise it will concatenate. All right, so in the given object we have passed all the data frames, and that will be concatenated with axis 1, it means column wise. So after that, my prediction is equal to classifier. So we already have classifier, so predict total data. Okay, so after that we will just return that output in the render template. So that output we will provide into result.html. that will gonna tell you how to write. Prediction is equal to my prediction. So after that, our API is done. Now we'll call our API and run in some port. So for that we'll run in we'll write some main main function. So here I have written main function here, app dot run port is equal to 4000. Okay, so save it. And here, if you have said a few minutes ago there is some problem, so this problem that here I have written txt, so here I have written that text. So because of that it given problem, just make it correct. So txt, that txt we have to return. Okay, so our code is ready. Now go into go into model implementation here. Now we will need some home.html and result.html that we need. Okay, so you just skip the video and just I will provide that HTML code and CSS. So here, as you can see, we have two folders, static and template. So in the template we have home or result HTML. So if you just open it, so Flask generally try to find where the template folder resides. So in the template folder, the main HTML file should be there. So in the home, if you just open it, we'll can see that it will just if you have worked in HTML little bit, you will just understand that it will first give the name machine learning sentiment analysis app with Flask is generally a header name. Okay, so in this header name there is also written to sentiment analysis negative or positive, and after that this is the message box. So URL for predict. Here if I just click the button, it will that action it will perform, that / predict action, and it will that method is post, and in and under the message if you just type anything, so that area will record your message, and it will just put into the classifier, and after the result that the result HTML page will get called. So in this way this home HTML page will get work. So if you just open it also, you'll get this is the result. Okay, so don't have to go into that details. So just here you can just see in this manner that negative or positive result will get show you, and this is that output. Here you can just write whatever the message and just predict. If you just click predict, it will redirect you to the result page, whether it is a negative comment or positive comment. Okay, so so I think so we have written it, and let's just try to run it. If there is a problem, we'll try to solve that problem. So already I have opened that. So just type python app.py. So it will take some time to just train the model. So after just train, it will open the port our API will run in 400. Okay, so there is some problem, unexpected keyword argument method. Okay, so just let me see where is our problem. Okay, so we go and we saw that there is actually a methods. Okay, so so request methods, and that after the request dot method. So I think so is everything is fine. Let's save it and just try to run it again. Okay, so here now it's running fine, and it's running on port 4000. So it's running on local host. Generally it had WSGI connected. It's showing you that warning, this development server, do not use it in production deployment, because for that we need to connect to WSGI server instead. And there is so much packages available in Python, so give it a feature of WSGI, and right now it will work for our work. So directly go and just type localhost, and port that we have to give is 4000. Open it, and here you have this output. So just write something. So if you just open the sentiment tweets, and there is a negative tweet, and just copy it and go into the browser and paste it and predict, it will show you negative. Going back again, it will just open, and okay, sorry. So here if you just type, and it will show you positive comment. Okay, so if you comment anything like hi, so it will show positive. If you just say no, if you just say it's a negative comment. Okay, so in this way you can create your Flask API to train your model and just deploy it. So our deployment part is that we will discuss in afterward. Here we will make a Docker container, a Docker image. We'll put that code API into Docker image, and run that image to form a container, and we can access the same thing, same environment. Okay, so that we will discuss in the next video. Thank you so much, guys.